Yes, sir.
Call this meeting January the 7th, 2025 order. Before we get started, we'll have a prayer by Councilman Wright, followed by pledge allegiance to the flag. Councilman Wright.
Shall we pray? Father, we thank you for another opportunity to meet and to represent our citizens. Father, we pray for the Holy Spirit to guide our thinking and thoughts as we conduct the business on hand tonight. Father, we want to thank you for all the good things that have happened to our city, and we ask that you continue to bless us and those who work so hard to make it happen. Lord, we pray that our country will take a different attitude towards each other as we go into this year, and we ask your blessings on the new president and all those that will be working with him. Father, thank you for all of our employees and for the good safety record that they've had this past year. We ask that you will continue to look after them. In Christ's name we pray.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can you call the roll, please?
Ron Cross.
Here.
Tim Johnson.
Here.
Alicia Harris.
Here.
John Brackett.
Here.
Lonnie Ronick.
Here.
Cheryl Lexi.
Here.
I have to declare a quorum. A motion to approve the minutes of the December 17th, 2024 meeting. I'll make a motion. Motion by
I'll
Councilman
second.
Johnson, second by Councilwoman Laxton. Councilman Johnson.
No.
Councilwoman Laxton.
No.
Floor is open for discussion. Call the roll, please.
Ron Cross.
Yes.
Tim Johnson.
Yes.
Alicia Harris.
Yes.
John Brackett.
Yes.
Lonnie Ronick.
Yes.
Cheryl Lexi.
Yes.
Motion carries. Motion to pay the salaries.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Frost.
Second that.
Second by Councilman Brackett. Councilman Frost.
No, sir.
Councilman Brackett.
No, sir.
Floor is open for discussion. Call the roll, please.
Ron Cross.
Yes.
Tim Johnson.
Yes.
Alicia Harris.
Yes.
John Brackett.
Yes.
Lonnie Ronick.
Yes.
Cheryl Lexi.
Yes.
Motion carries. Motion to pay the bills.
Motion.
Motion by Councilwoman Harris.
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Laxton. Councilwoman Harris. Councilwoman Laxton.
No.
Floor is open for discussion. Call the roll, please.
Ron Cross.
Yes.
Tim Johnson.
Yes.
Alicia Harris.
Yes.
John Brackett.
Yes.
Lonnie Ronick.
Yes.
Cheryl Lexi.
Yes.
Motion carries. This time we're here from delegation. If you'd like to address this council, come up to the podium, state your name, and limit your comments to 3 minutes. No, we're going to reports. Harriman Utility Board.
All right. Happy to finally report that our EV charging station is nearly open to the public. We really hope to get it open by December 15th, which I think is what I reported last time I was here. Unfortunately, a lot of different players were involved, and it was tough to get everybody scheduled to get on site. Before then, they are just about complete. They're energizing the equipment now, and they're going to be testing it in the next few days. So I will be announcing very soon that it's open to the public, and then we'll let you know how it goes throughout the year. And again, just as a reminder, that is located behind Dunkin' Donuts. And I'll invite you to a ribbon cutting as soon as I get scheduled. We have been working really hard on our fiber to the home projects. We have 2 contracts out to bid right now. The first one is the bulk of the fiber installation, like what I call mainline fiber installation. That's the follows the power line all around the system. One of the contracts is for the materials and warehousing of those materials, and then the other contract is for installation of that. We are also working to put together some RFPs for the huts and electronics, which will be the very next bid that we have, which will probably be next month. And then very soon we'll do bids for service drops and in-home installations. And I think we'll have everybody put to work. So the goal still is to start some construction by spring of this year, and then get some customers connected, hopefully as early as the end of summer or early fall of this year. So we'll keep you posted on that. It's taking the bulk of our time right now. We were excited that our board added a little bit of new territory to our map. We found out after meeting with Highland Telephone, our neighbor to the north, that there is a very small section of Morgan County right along Oakdale Highway, just north of the Roane County line, that was not already being served by Highland, and I asked them if they would like to serve it, if they were okay with HEB serving it as part of our design, and they were okay with us serving it. And ultimately, our board decided to add that territory. That way we can more confidently say all of our electric customers have access to fiber to the home internet. We're excited about that. Moving on to water and sewer funding, you all know we've been managing this TDEC ARPA funding for a little while now. We just awarded another contract with that funding. It is to replace the Wolf Branch water pumping station up on Lag Mountain. Our next contract that we award will be water line replacement across that mountain over to Oakdale Highway, and then a little bit of work in the Oakdale, little town of Oakdale, little water line replacement there as well. And that'll probably get the bulk of that funding spent. That's what we call, I don't want to get too detailed, but that was the initial TDEC ARPA funding. We do have another project to connect with Crab Orchard Utility District that is still in design phase. I don't have much to say about that today. Our work, construction along the Pine Ridge Road sewer extension project is sort of stalled at this point. We're just waiting for the pump station to get manufactured. We'll get that installed and in plenty of time for the quick trip that should be the first customer. We're also, while we're kind of waiting, we're revising the layout of the pump station to accommodate one of our fiber huts that we need for the fiber system. And then last thing I thought I'd report on, unless you have any questions, is we did make the news yesterday. We didn't mean to make the news, but we had a power outage that was actually a TVA power outage. It was one of the transmission poles that feeds our Blair substation, so it took our entire substation down about 2:15 yesterday morning. And it took many hours for them to complete that repair. We were able to backfeed almost all the customers with the exception of about 30 using alternate substations, but we did call on folks to conserve power just to kind of help us make sure we could keep serving those customers. I think that sounded like a winter weather problem, and it really wasn't intended to be that. So we got a lot of attention yesterday, but I just want to say thank you to everybody that was affected for being very patient with us and with TVA. It's one of those situations where HEB really is helpless. We're just waiting on them to fix it. And it was really complicated by a few different factors. One, it fell over the road and closed the road. It fell over the railroad at the same time, so it closed the railroad. And it was on a steep bank, so they had to have special equipment. This is a big tower, so it took them until about 8 p.m. last night to get everything up and going and get our substation turned back on ultimately. That's why we were on the news.
Do I have anything for Candace?
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Candace.
Thank you, Candace, for the notes.
Mr. Rabbit?
Thank you, Mayor. Council members, you have in front of you the financial report for the month of December, and obviously the big thing that I've reported to some of you all that we're very excited about is a 12.4% increase in the local option sales tax over the month of December last year. That's a huge increase. We haven't looked back to see when we had an increase about that size, and it's been almost 2.5 years since we've had an increase of that magnitude. So let's hope that continues. There's a delay of 2 months from the time that the tax is collected to when the trustee's office pays it out to the city. So this is really what was collected in October. And so let's hope that the shopping holiday season continues to be as robust as October was. What this translates into is a 4.8% trend for increase in local option sales tax for the year, which puts us at almost $200,000 over what we budgeted for that particular line item in the budget, which is great to have that kind of windfall. So projecting 4.8%, let's hope it stays that high or goes even higher. For the next few weeks, Teresa and I are going to be working together to prepare for the audit. I think we're in good shape. I've already been working a lot throughout this fiscal year with Brad Harris, and I feel very prepared for the audit. There's a few things that we need to get for them that are the normal lead up to the audit items, such as bank statements and that kind of thing. So we'll be sending those out to them and getting geared up for that audit and during the last week of January. That's all I have for now. I'd like to take any questions if there's any.
Any questions?
No.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Chris.
City Attorney, Mr. Owens.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Seems like I say just about every month that we have this one case out there. It's called the Hester case, City of Harriman versus Hester and Gilliam. It's regarding a sinkhole. There's a couple of sinkholes on a couple of properties just down the road. And that case has evolved and it's gone to federal court. And while in federal court, they've added a number of parties. You all probably received calls from parties. People that have been joined in the lawsuit by Hester and Gilliam. It's now up to about 150 different parties in that lawsuit. There must be 25 lawyers plus firms that are involved in that lawsuit in one way or another, in the defense mostly of all of these persons who have been added by Hester and Gilliam. Like I say, it's in federal court. Yesterday was the dispositive motion deadline. That means all motions for summary judgment had to be filed by midnight last night. There were over 100 filings by midnight last night in that case from all of these separate defendants. There must be 15 to 20 different motions for summary judgment. With the motion, with the memorandum of law, with affidavits. I know Candace provided an affidavit, Scott provided an affidavit. Many of the defendants, third-party defendants in that case, used those affidavits to help prove their motion. So all of those motions are now pending. There's a group of about 3 attorneys, I think, that are on the Gilliam and Hester payroll, and they will have to respond to all of those motions for summary judgment within 30 days. I don't know how they do that, but I'm sure they'll ask for an extension. And I'm not sure they should be granted an extension because a lot of our folks, they asked for extensions on the motion deadline and they were not granted that extension. But in a case, a typical federal court case, there's probably anywhere from 20 to 40, maybe on the outside, 50 filings per case. In this case, as we sit here, there have been 455 filings in this one case. That's unheard of, just unheard of. And this case started as a slum ordinance case brought by the city of Harriman 4 or 5 years ago against Hester and Gilliam. And, the lady, her name escapes me, with the beauty shop next door. She was damaged as part of the sinkholes, and she joined in with us in that lawsuit. So that case, that little slum ordinance case, has evolved from that to now what we see with 455 filings, 150 defendants, and 25 lawyers and firms in federal court. It's kind of amazing to see that evolvement. But all of those motions are filed. We'll see what happens. Gavin and I wrote part of the brief that's provided by public entity partners to hopefully get the city of Harriman's prosecutorial side of that case heard and decided without it going back to state court.
Have they pulled the railroad into this too?
Railroad is in, Norfolk Southern. They filed a motion for summary judgment yesterday. Post office filed a motion for summary judgment. I mean, about everybody did. CVS, I mean, you name it, you can just go right down the street. A lot of folks in West Hills are represented by different folks. Duff Auto Sales, just, Faith Bible Fellowship Church. They were brought in because of that lot that they own in West Hills, which now, by the way, that was the other part of my report. I didn't mean for it to be this long. But we now own that. That property transaction has been completed. So I guess we're now somewhat third-party defendants as well as plaintiffs in that case. But that is what it is. But that's quite the development in one very small case, and that gives you an idea of what really can happen in litigation. And among that and other things, and we've just been monitoring that case because we have PEP attorneys working on it, but then we also, they ask us to write the prosecutorial side of their brief for their motion so that they could plug it in, and we hope to get it all dismissed. That's the hope. But to be Hester and Gilliam's attorneys and have to respond to 15 or more motions for summary judgment, I would not want to be their office. Yeah, that's a lot to do. A lot to do, but they asked for it.
Yeah.
They absolutely asked for it. So that's where we are with that, and then with the property from West Hills, and so y'all will decide what you want to do with that property, if anything, but we now own it. Be glad to answer any questions you might have.
Any questions? Thank you, Mr. Lawrence.
Call me anytime.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
City Manager, Mr. Mason.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, members of our city council. Start off saying Happy New Year. It started off with a bang here in Harriman with our second annual ball drop fireworks, well attended. Had a lot of events going on in Harriman with that, but just as a great event, a good way to start off 2025. A little different. You've got in front of you, I provided the January 7th copy of the direction. Just going to touch on these bold items. Those are new since our last meeting 3 weeks ago. From our streets, met with Drax several times this week because we know our forecast coming up Friday afternoon and this weekend, of course, the cold weather we've got here. It is a mistype on my part. We have more than 75 to 100 pounds of salt. I just called it sitting over. We have about that many tons of salt.
I thought, man,
So we've got plenty of that.
Went down to Lowe's.
I'm about 75 pounds myself.
That's right, and our salt shaker.
Before anybody else called it, I want to call it. Down at the garages yesterday morning, this morning, just talking with Drac, and the plows are ready. Should those need to go in service, which I think we might need this weekend. And one thing Drac and I are going to do in order to try and avoid what we had happen last year, he and I are going to do a video, post it on Facebook tomorrow, and just encourage, if this weather report holds out, if people are parking, especially in Cornstalk Heights, we want to protect not only people's property, but the health and the property that the city uses to clear the streets. We're going to ask people if they have a driveway, try and get their vehicle off the street. Just makes it much easier for us to throw salt and to bring our snow plows up and down, especially the hills and those tight areas. So we'll just put that out there as we're more confident in the weather forecast. Drax crew, not only they're going to help us with the assisting of taking down our decorations and getting those stored away out in South Harriman. Our our backhoe was repaired and returned into action. Drax and I were talking today, we need to take a look at our small bush hog, and I said we would bring that up in our street committee that we have here in just a few weeks and give you more information about that. Drax, anything else we need to add to your report? Basketball season on Parks and Recreation is well underway. Just as a note, all of our games are played on Tuesday and Thursday. They occur at the community center, and on Saturdays, that's at Harriman Middle School and at the community center. In case we have inclement weather, we will follow the Rome County Schools schedule should they have to delay games or cancel games. The only exception to that is this weekend, and if we have to get information out to our coaches, our parents, and our kids, not when school's in session, we'll use our sports tech, and that's an automatic notification through our texting system, which has been very successful. Our greens at the golf course are covered, and they'll probably be covered over the next 10 days because of the low temperatures in order to protect them. Put it on your calendar. It's not long. April 5th will be our opening day for baseball season. We'll get you more information on that as that time gets closer. The new HVAC system, they're scheduled to start installing that at the pro shop next Monday. And under Papermaker, our upgrades to the high school baseball field down there are underway. Thanks to our inmate crew, we are scheduled to pour concrete on Thursday and Friday, so we'll see if the weather cooperates with that. Normally I'd ask Charlie if he has anything to add, but Charlie is at the ball games tonight, and he's doing much better after the report we sent out this weekend. And I'd say, well, then Zach needs to be here, but Zach is actually one of our officials tonight for the basketball games. But
I'd like to say something right quick, Scott.
Yes, ma'am.
Did everybody know that Zach was the one that helped with the man that was lost yesterday? Did you know that?
no,
They put out a silver alert for a gentleman in Kingston,
No, I didn't.
and Zach found him
Really?
and drove him to where he needed to be. So he was a hero.
That's good.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. I hadn't heard that.
and he didn't even tell us. We had a meeting yesterday afternoon.
You know he wouldn't.
So that's the kind of guy that
Yeah,
Zach is.
it was on Facebook. Kingston was thanking
Okay.
him. So I wanted to make sure everybody knew that he,
That's good that you did that.
yep.
And Zach has been a great addition to our Parks and Rec, to the city of Harriman, to our family. He's come forth with some ideas and some plans and has really taken a load off of what Charlie was used to doing. So he's been a great addition. We'll make sure we recognize him in a couple of weeks at our next council meeting. Our updated fire stats will be available in 2 weeks, but one thing I did want to note, in your packet, one thing that we're looking at that's brought to our attention, our ladder truck, which is about 20 years old, needs some work done on it. And those are not, Mayor and I were talking this morning, new ladder truck costs about $1.2 to $1.3 million. So Assistant Chief Johnson has had 2 people come in and look at our truck and give us 2 different quotes, and we'll bring that before the fire committee before we've got 2 quotes to consider. One is higher than the other one, but in talking with Assistant Chief Johnson, if we decide to move forward with that, these repairs will make our truck almost new. Not all of them are required, but I would think it'd be a good idea. We do have it in the budget if we need to repair our ladder truck. That'll give us anywhere from a minimum of 3 to 5 to probably a maximum of 7 years on this ladder truck, which would give us plenty of time to add that to our capital outlay projects and determine the steps we want to go through. That's what we'll talk about in our fire committee meeting. But that's just one of the quotes right there that we've gotten back. I want to share with you, and I'll email the other one later tonight or first thing in the morning because Assistant Chief, we just got that today.
And I'd like to say on that before he moves on, we talked this morning about maybe waiving the agenda rule because the truck is out of commission right now. You guys have took it out of commission. It's gonna be 2 weeks before we meet again. So, the first quote was 37,000 and something, the second quote was 32,000 and something. What I'd like to do is at the end, maybe waive the agenda rule, give the fire committee and the city manager the authority to spend up to $38,000 and let's get that truck fixed. Let them go through both of the quotes that they got and let them go ahead and get this thing fixed. Don't wait to get it back in service. We just used it, I think, at Walmart. Did we use it at Walmart?
Yes, we did.
And it's cold weather.
Anything can happen.
So we'll do that at the end of the meeting.
Okay.
Anybody need to add your report? And send out the report to, they're expecting Brad to be released and come home, Chief Daniels, soon. But in the meantime, Assistant Chief Johnson's done a fantastic job taking over and running our fire department. They've had numerous calls, but John's really done a good job for us.
Excellent job.
Our police report, again, we'll have updated numbers here in a couple of weeks. Will reflect our numbers during the month of December. The main thing is the interview started yesterday. We are seeking to get a full force. We're down 1 officer. Those interviews have started, but according to Chief Tapp, they're going very well. Yeah, you are here, okay. Chief, anything else you need to add?
No.
Oh, and I will touch base here in just a second. One of the things they have been very busy doing is answering calls about animals during cold weather, but we'll touch on that here in just a second. Moving on to our library report. Publicly, we'd like to announce welcome, stand up, Connie, our new library director, Connie Massengill. She's hit the ground running. They are currently, she and Carmen, and Carmen was named our assistant library director. So I have no doubt that our library is going to continue to move in a positive direction. Some of the ideas both of them have, I'm excited about the library, and it's very, very refreshing, and know that they're in good hands with that. They're currently going through part-time positions. We had over probably 20 people apply for that, so they've narrowed that down in the beginning to start the interview process. They're also going to be undergoing training through our regional library that's out of Athens. So they're going to get that scheduled. You can see that. And then you can continue to read down through there everything that they're working on. Doing a fantastic job for us. Everything that is in bold, I'm sorry, Connie, anything else you want to add? Okay. You can look under there as we flip back and forth. Everything under our events coordinator is brand new. Jen's got a packet for you there. It goes all the way through, I think, next year. So she does a fantastic job of getting that out, promoting. You'll see there's some new events that she's added that involve not only our teens. We've talked about getting a teen committee to get their input from the high school and maybe the middle school, but also some other things we want to do at Riverfront Park. And these are all Jen's ideas right there, but you'll see that, and we'll certainly do a really good job of promoting it as the time gets close. I think, karaoke night. We'll have Fred upstairs, January 25th, and that's 6 to 11. But that was really a good time last year, and so looking to have that again. It'll be cold outside, but have a really good time inside. And I think it's free, correct, Jen? But we'll continue to get all that information out to you. Is there anything you want to add, Jen, to your report? Jimmy and Keita and I met this afternoon with Glenn Kofer's office, just talked about trying to do a monthly meeting with them, some of the concerns we had. I'd update you on Emery Creek. Jimmy, that's all going very well, very smooth. They've had to call the manager in a couple of times and make some corrections, but they have worked with Glenn, so that's working very well right there. And just some other things about administrating here and officers, I'll send that out to you, but very well with Glenn's code office right there. Our safety committee, I'll email your report. I have to turn that back in tomorrow to Public Entity Partners. They cited a couple things at our Public Works building and with our Parks and Rec, so those corrections have been made or are in the process of being made. We had to respond, and I'll certainly include you on that report when I send it in tomorrow. One thing that we did decide to do at our safety committee is go ahead and purchase and install an additional AED at our community center. We already have one upstairs. We talked about moving it, and we said, why would we do that? We have just as many people upstairs throughout the week, so that should be here any day, right, John? And we'll get that installed downstairs. Our grant update, Keita, you want to provide that? Well, I know you're busy doing Teresa's.
Just quickly, the historical grant, we do have a window put in. We did get some pictures. We're going to send that in. They will get someone to come out and inspect it, and then we will proceed from there. The SS4A grant, there's not a whole lot with it right now. They're just finalizing the rankings from the surveys. Hopefully by April, we can adopt a plan. The LPRF grant, the budget acceptance activity was completed. So now we're starting on the protected boundary map. And the CDBG grant, we have been awarded the grant, and I have sent in the travel letters for historical purposes, and just wait to hear back from them.
And Evan will be here tomorrow afternoon at 1:30. We need to touch base on several items, so he'll be down here at City Hall tomorrow. If you're around or have anything, you're certainly welcome to drop in. And I'll conclude my report. Just wanted to tell you, I talked with Glenn. I said, where are we on the Hampton Inn and Suites? He said, you're going to see activity start to move very quickly down there. He said they've already been in contact with his office getting permits. He said, I think people are going to be surprised at how fast they really start working on that. If you've been to our website lately, I think 2 years ago, we changed our carrier. That was Matt and Kelsey Hill, Hillco, and they've done a great job. As our website has grown, it is confusing right now. There's a lot of good information, but I have a hard time navigating it. So I was talking with Matt before Christmas, and he said, hey, we need to get together. There's a lot of stuff on there. We need to make it more user-friendly. So hopefully by the end of the month, for example, if you go on there, if you want to do your building permit, one thing the mayor and I talked about, you come into town, they'll be able to do everything on that website. Well, it's hard to find. It's called Citizens Portal. We had an individual call, so we're going to change the way it looks and lay it out so it's a lot more user-friendly. Hopefully by the end of the month, all our forms on there will be fillable. So you just print it out online, it goes automatically to the group, whether it's the beer board, the planning commission, they will get a copy of that. So we'll continue to update our website. I did go ahead and take off New Year's update. Warming Center update, we're going to do a video tomorrow. We've had several meetings, and that also made Channel 6 WATE last night. Just as how important our warming center is, the mayor and I have met with several individuals over the past couple of weeks, and we're going to try and help them out with a food drive, clothing drive, blanket drive, and so we'll put that video out tomorrow because they're expecting to be open, I think, the next 14 days because of the temperatures, and that'll be 24/7. The biggest need they have right now is volunteers to go in from 8 at night and stay till 8 in the morning. So I think Hope Odell, who's in charge of that, along with that church. Hopefully people that are listening, if your schedule allows you to, it is a great service. It's greatly needed, especially during the next 2 weeks here. Want to thank Keita. She's a good example. Teresa couldn't make it tonight. She's feeling a little under the weather. Got ready for Councilwoman Laxton, Councilwoman Harris to come in and sign bills tonight. Keita had it laid out. She took care of payroll. She got the checks. She calls the roll. Just another example. What I've tried to do is do some cross training here because Teresa does so much, but Keita has picked up the ball, and we sorely miss Teresa. We want her back, but just rest assured, Keita has done a great job. And then especially thanks to HUB and Candace is here. The new parking signs that I showed you, they look massive in here, and we put them up, and I told Dave, I said, we may have to go to a larger size, but HUB helped us out and put those up, because once you put them up there, you don't realize it's just awful high in the air. But really thanks for HUB and helping us get our Christmas decorations up and just continue to do everything that we need to do. One thing that we will put in our video tomorrow, the 3 P's as we hit this cold weather, is people, pipes, and pets. And as we hit this cold weather, check on your neighbors, make sure they're okay as it gets cold. Our police and our fire and just everybody who works for the city, we're out and about checking anybody who might be homeless, making sure they have a place to stay, make sure they've got a way to get to the warming center. But check on your neighbors, check on your family members doing this. Pipes, keep those covered, let them drip. I know Councilwoman Harris and I were talking, I think Candace is probably going to put something out, as we get below, keep your pipes from freezing, and your pets, make sure they're well fed and they've got some type of protection. If you can't bring them indoors, make sure they have a blanket. Our police department, numerous calls every day, and every call we get, they are out checking on it, and we're working in close coordination with the Roane County Animal Shelter. Stacey Wilson does a great job, and we want to make sure they're safe as well. Chief, I don't know if you want to add anything to that or not.
We answer every call we get about animals. And we check on them and make sure they're okay and talk to people about what they need to do.
A lot of calls, and just during this time of weather, I asked the chief, I said, we get them a lot when it's cold, and then when in the springtime, it's the temperatures, and that's good. People are concerned about their pets and looking out for each other, but be assured, yes, our police department answers every call and checks on it. A couple of things I didn't put up there. I just found out the Freedom Fund banquet is going to take place at Roane State on January the 18th at 6 o'clock, and that's in coordination with the Greenwood School Banquet. And I bring that up because they have this fundraiser every year, and they do a lot of things, but a lot of people don't realize they have scholarships at every high school in our county, and every high school has a recipient, if not more than one. So I'll send that information out, and told the group we'll also get it on our Facebook page, but it's a great organization. That's coming up on January the 18th at Roane State. And the last thing, and I'll close my report, been in contact with Tim Suter and Mayor Wade Cresswell. There's a free app that's out there, and I encourage everybody that can hear this to sign up. It's called Hyper Reach, and what that is, that will you'll get a text message from Roane County government anytime we have impending weather or emergency situations. It's completely free unless your cell phone is charged with data rates, but that's called Hyper Reach, and that information right now can be found at the Roane County government website. It's easy to sign up, and we want to talk with our safety committee. I want to tailor that also to the city limits of Harriman. Talk with Wade Cresswell about that, and I think we're moving in that direction. And unless y'all have any questions for me,
I do, Scott.
Yes, ma'am.
We had a lot of calls about Long John Silver's.
Yes.
Can you?
I can. Yeah, if you drive by there, you'll notice it's cleaned up. It's been cut down, and it's made a whole lot easier on the eye. It's not been sold, but we have a group here in town that want to turn that into a deli. It's not a named deli or commercial, but they're going to try to give it a shot as a deli.
I
Place you
think
can
on
go and
Facebook he said high-end deli.
Yes. Who said that?
That's what it's on
Whoever
Facebook.
the person that's leasing it, he said it was a high-end deli.
But that'd be good. I mean, we need a deli, especially a high-end deli, so I hope it does well. And
Would you go, let everybody know what's going to go in up there at the garage tire?
I don't think that's been decided yet, has it?
I don't know.
I don't think it's been in,
Down there at Walmart that night that fire happened. And
right now, what we know, the building's been renovated, and preliminary plans, it'd be, I think, another antique mall, sort of similar to what we have in town, but just it is going to be a commercial business.
yeah, because people's been calling me about it.
Where's the warming center?
Warming Center is located at the old Walnut Hill School. I don't know the exact address right now.
Maple Street,
Yeah,
Maple
on
Street.
Maple Street.
Courts of Praise.
Church of Courts of Praise.
Yeah.
The churches.
And if anybody needs that information, they call City Hall, they go to our website, go to the Facebook page, and
Scott. All right. Thanks, sir.
thank you, Mayor. Thanks.
Thanks, Scott.
This time we'll move into new business. First item, discuss and possibly approve the purchase of turnout gear for the fire department for $8,052, and this is with Municipal Emergency Services.
Make a motion for that.
Motion by Councilman Brackett, second by Councilman Frost. Councilman Brackett.
No, sir.
Councilman Frost. No, sir. Floor is open for discussion. Call the roll, please.
Brian Frost.
Yes.
Tim Johnson.
Yes.
Alicia Harris.
Yes.
John Brackett.
Yes.
Lonnie Wright.
Yes.
Cheryl Laxton.
Yes.
Motion carries. Next item, discuss and possibly approve negotiations of a contract for the city of Harriman with Pinnacle IT Management Services.
I'll second.
Johnson,
I'll second it.
second by Councilwoman Laxton. Councilman Johnson. Councilwoman Laxton.
No, I'm good.
Floor is open for discussion.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Is that Joe?
Yeah, that's Joe's.
Is that Joe's?
Yes, sir. And
It's
I
been a
think our
minute
last
since
council
we.
meeting 3 weeks ago, I said I tried to come back to this meeting comparing apples to apples instead of apples to oranges.
Yeah,
And so included in your packet is a slide, the information I have right up here. But yes, Pinnacle is the group that's out of.
I thought
out
so.
of Crossville.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
And we're only signing a 1-year deal.
Yes, when I called both of those groups, they prefer a 2-year, but he said he would operate, if we decide to go with him, they would go with a 1-year contract. I tried 6 months, but in all honesty, and what he explained to me in both groups that I talked to, they said 6 months is really not a long time to get things in place. And both of them gave a 3 to 5 year plan of what needed to take place. So he said, really, it takes a year to get in, to get operational, and then both groups would provide a time plan for our budget process.
Gosh.
But yes, Pinnacle would be willing to sign a 1-year contract.
Any other questions?
When will they start, Scott?
Just as soon as we can get a contract drawn up, they would come in and start the training, start the changeover of our email addresses. Both have already come in, or Pinnacle's already come in and done an inspection of here's what needs to be completed. If you remember, Joe came in, I think he presented a workshop. He said whoever installed the network system or the existing system did a really good job. He said it would be very easy to monitor. The biggest concern that Pinnacle had was, after they looked at the fire department, was we need a firewall in place and then 2 servers. So those numbers, it can be confusing. It's almost like comparing oranges to tangerines, because both these numbers fluctuate based on the amount of users we have and what equipment's needing up front. So when you look at it, the bottom line, this number and that number, they could fluctuate either up or down. Pinnacle, very little. I feel confident in talking with him on what needs to be done. But all of it depends on users. And I think somebody on the council, would we be considered a user? And absolutely, you would get a new email address, and we would have to, and that process is going to take 2 to 3 months just to get everything carried over.
Any other discussion?
I will. if I got one more thing, Mayor.
Any discussion?
I was talking to one of our employees that's well-versed in technology, and as I was sitting there talking to him, he knows it. We were talking about what needed to take place, and he said, I could do this and I could do that. And Keith and I talked, and I said, we could, and I have great confidence in this young man could do this, but that's sort of what got us into the problem here. We've had people who are employees who knew what they were doing, but they're no longer with us, and while this young man could certainly do it, if time comes for him to move on, we're back in the same boat. So I think this will put us in a much safer environment as far as cybersecurity and much more efficient with our computers and everything that's technology based if we can go with Pinnacle.
I think that's a smart choice. They are, as you said, I think they're smaller and offer very similar, services, with less,
Both great companies.
with less overhead, and, felt pretty good about them.
And I don't think Drake's going anywhere anytime soon, so he could handle it.
That would fit in as a $2 user per year. Yeah, email only.
I used to do all his schedules for him because he didn't know how to do a schedule.
Thank you. We
Thanks,
appreciate it.
Scott.
Thank you, Scott. We need to call the roll?
We need to call the roll.
All right. Call the roll, please.
Ron Frost.
Yes.
Tim Johnson.
Yes.
Alicia Harris.
Yes.
John Burke.
Yes.
Lonnie Wright.
Yes.
Cheryl Laxton.
Yes.
Motion carries. Next item, discuss and possibly approve the solicitation and evaluation of banking services for the city of Harriman. Motion to put this on the floor.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second
Second,
that.
Councilman Brackett. Motion by Councilman Johnson, second by Councilman Brackett. Councilman Johnson.
And what is this exactly?
Let's let
Yeah.
Mr. Ryan talk about it.
Okay.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm happy to chat about this. We're looking at considering, you may recall in the past that we had some, when it came to paying bills, and there's a lot of things associated with the banking relationship that we have now. We're looking at another potential banking relationship within the county. And in order to be able to move forward with that process, we need to look and see what other banks in the area offer. And so I was advised by MTAS to get permission by council to move forward with that evaluation of banking services that are available here in the county. And that's really all we're looking for in this, is just to be able to evaluate other banks versus what the service we're getting right now is.
Before we would switch banks, would it come back before council to approve that, or would that be?
It certainly could, yeah, absolutely, that's a possibility.
Any further discussion from the council?
No, sir.
No, I trust his judgment.
I do too.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Call the roll, please.
Ron Frost.
Yes.
Tim Johnson.
Yes.
Alicia Harris.
Yes.
John Burke.
Yes.
Lonnie Wright.
Yes.
Cheryl Laxton.
Yes.
Motion carries. At this time, I ask the council to waive the agenda rule for to discuss and possibly approve spending money on the ladder truck fire department.
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Harris, second by Councilman Brackett.
Yes, sir.
Waive the agenda rule. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, like sign. All right, as you all heard, we have a price of $37,000 and some change, and a price of $32,000 and some change. I'd like for us to go ahead and approve the fire committee
Is-
with Mr. Mason to.
Excuse me, is John as assistant fire chief, does he have a choice? I mean,
It will be up to him to make a recommendation to his fire committee and for
so
Scott to.
we can go as high as agreeing to 38,000.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, if they put it and they do apple to apple, and the 37 is a lot better than the 32, I would expect they would go to the 37.
Okay.
So, they're asking council to approve to spend up to $38,000 to fix the ladder truck. Motion to, motion by Councilman
I'll
Johnson.
second.
Second by Councilwoman Plaskins.
It's desperately needed.
Councilwoman.
Yeah, definitely need it.
Oh, no, I'm good. I said my piece.
Floor is open for discussion. Call roll, please.
Ron Charles.
Yes.
Tim Johnson.
Yes.
Alicia Harris.
Yes.
John Brackett.
Yes.
Lonnie Wright.
Yes.
Cheryl White.
Yes.
Motion carries, and if, Scott, if you and John could go ahead and get the fire, go ahead and look through that, and get the fire committee and make that, and get that thing moving. That's all we have on the agenda. We'll, have council remarks. Councilman Wright.
A lot of people, and I've run into, they like to see the Christmas lights and everything up all year. You know, and being all, I've had feedback from 8 different states and Washington DC. Furthest state was High Volume. I'm not on Facebook, but a couple of guys with the same last name I know have been rattling around, but I thought that was pretty good, you know. And I'm sure it's greater than that.
Yeah.
So everybody that's connected with that project,
Anything else, sir? Thank you. Councilman Ross. Councilman Johnson.
Just wish everybody a very happy new year and hope it's the best yet.
Thanks, sir. Councilwoman Harris. Go ahead. Councilman Brown.
I concur with Councilman Johnson. Yes, I do. I think 2024, we got a lot accomplished. Just hope and pray we just keep moving forward and wish everybody a happy 2025.
Councilwoman Latchman.
I would again like to thank Jen for all of her hard work. We had an awesome New Year's Eve.
We did.
We had a lot of fun. And she does a great job.
She does.
Even, you know, she does a good job.
So,
I try not to say a whole lot about her, but
I know.
she does do a great job.
She's done an awesome job.
Calendar of what we've got going on this year, I just glanced through it, with us getting it a while ago, and I thought, you know, the things that we wanted to see and the things that tie us all together are on that calendar. So it, you know, she puts her time and heart into it. It's just not a job to her, it's who she is. So we appreciate your work on this and what you give back to the city. So thank you. And thank all our department heads. I was thinking a while ago.
Yeah.
We was getting an update on Chief Daniels and was, you know, Charlie had a little spell this week. I thought, what is Scott doing to the department heads?
Scott.
come on, Scott. Let up a little bit,
The
buddy.
job here, you know, we have to understand, the job here is stressful. Because we have a lot going on and we don't just ask for you to do just your normal job. We ask you to do everything outside your normal job with it. So we appreciate everybody that does that, chiefs and the library and everybody that pitches in. We're truly a family-oriented city, and it shows, so we appreciate what you guys, everybody does. So, that being said, motion to adjourn.
I make a motion.
Second? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed, like sign.